How? Rasped Counselor Virek, his tendrils trembling now not with amusement but fear. How can primitives wield such precision? The answer arrived in the form of a human envoy, Ambassador Elaine Harper. She stood tall before the council, her voice calm but cutting through the chamber like a blade. "You thought we feared war," she said. "You mistook restraint for weakness. Do you know why humans speak of peace so often?" She paused, letting her gaze sweep across the room of uneasy delegates. "Because when we do go to war, we do not stop until the enemy cannot rise again." Murmurs of disbelief rippled, but the battle recordings spoke louder than any denial. The council had always measured strength in numbers, armies, fleets, planets controlled. Humanity measured differently, in resilience, adaptability, and sheer determination. The envoy continued, her words slow and deliberate. "We know the cost of war better than any of you. Our history is soaked in it. Entire generations lost, cities burned, continents scarred. We do not glorify it. That is why we avoid it. But when forced into war, we bring every lesson we have ever learned. Every mistake, every scar, every ounce of ingenuity. We make war an art we perfected long before we looked to the stars." Counselor Virek tried to interject, but his voice faltered. Even the insectoid Kryn, whose hives had conquered dozens of systems, clicked nervously in their seats. The council, for the first time in centuries, felt the weight of genuine fear. The envoy delivered the final blow. "You look at us and see a young species. What you fail to see is that we have always fought against ourselves, against impossible odds. We do not break. We sharpen. And now the galaxy will decide. Treat with us in peace, or force us to show you what true war looks like." The chamber erupted into chaos. Some species demanded immediate treaties. Others whispered of preemptive strikes. But deep down, every delegate knew the truth. Humanity was not afraid of war. Humanity was afraid of what they would become if war was unleashed. And the Council had just witnessed the first glimpse of that terrifying strength. The Galactic Empire had long considered humanity a backwater species, new to the stars, too fractured in politics, and too inexperienced to matter. They were tolerated in the Galactic Order only because their trade routes added wealth to the markets. To the Empire, humans were little more than tolerated guests, certainly not equals. That belief ended the day the Empire made a mistake so catastrophic it would echo for centuries. On a frontier world known as Kalini's IV, a small human colony thrived. Farmers, miners, and scientists worked side by side, building something simple yet precious. Among them was a little girl, no more than 10 years old, who had been playing in the fields when an Imperial patrol descended. The Empire's soldiers, enforcing one of their countless cruel decrees, fired upon the settlers to make an example. The child died instantly. To the soldiers, it was nothing. To the Empire, it was routine. To humanity, it was unforgivable. News traveled faster than light. Within hours, every human world, from the oldest cities on Earth to the newest colonies on the Rim, knew her name. For the first time in their history, humanity spoke with a single voice. Politicians stopped bickering. Rival corporations closed ranks. Fleets long kept hidden in dry dock were activated. The response was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. When the Empire's High Council convened, they laughed at the idea of human reprisal. "They have perhaps a few dozen warships," one senator sneered. "A scattered militia. Their fleets are antiques. What can they do against us?" But then the stars themselves seemed to darken. From the void, humanity's armada emerged. 700,000 dreadnoughts, massive, world-shaking vessels that had been built in silence, hidden in the asteroid belts and beneath the crusts of uninhabited moons. For centuries, Earth's nations had quarreled, but they had all prepared. War was woven into their history. They had learned to fight not just aliens but themselves, and that crucible had forged them into something unmatched. The fleets converged on Imperial space. At the border world of Dalvos Prime, the first battle was joined. Imperial admirals, arrogant and certain of victory, deployed their traditional formations. They expected human ships to break and scatter. Instead, they watched in horror as entire human squadrons moved like a single organism, their tactics born not from centuries of peace but from millennia of endless conflict. Human dreadnoughts were not sleek or elegant. They were brutal engines of war, bristling with kinetic cannons, railguns, and missile silos that could glass a continent. Shields buckled under barrages the Empire had never thought possible. Imperial fleets burned,